So where does this law of cosines come from? Let's take a look. So as we can see here, we've got a triangle. Doesn't have to be a right triangle, it can be any kind of triangle. We're going to employ here the same tactic of dropping an altitude down and creating some right triangles. Now what that means is this bottom side is actually going to be divided into two parts. Let's call this part here x. That would mean that this part then here, the remaining portion, well, it's side A, lowercase a, minus that x bit. So it's a minus x. Next up, we're going to use the Pythagorean theorem a little bit. Let's call this h, and then see what happens here. Focusing on the triangle at the left here. So the AC and then coming down here to the altitude. What we have is b squared equals x squared plus h squared. Nice. Let's see. Looking at the other triangle, what we have is c squared equals a minus x squared plus h squared. All right. Let's do some foiling over here. So if you take a minus x and FOIL it out, you're going to get a squared minus 2ax minus, or plus, or x squared plus h squared. And now is when a substitution is going to come into play. Let's solve this equation for h squared. So subtract the x squared over to the other side, and we get b squared minus x squared. So take this and replace it where that was. Okay, so c squared equals a squared minus 2ax plus x squared plus b squared minus x squared. And just like that, our x squareds reduce away. I'm going to do a little bit of rearranging and call this c squared equals a squared plus b squared minus 2ax. Okay, we're getting there. Now the final step is to go back to this left right triangle again, and notice that there's a relationship between the x, the b, the h, and the angle c. So specifically, I want to focus on the x and the b, meaning it's the adjacent and the hypotenuse. So the cosine of this angle c is this x number divided by b, adjacent over hypotenuse. Solve it for x by multiplying the b over. And here you have it, one more substitution. Where I see an x, I'm going to replace it with b times the cosine of c. So c squared equals a squared plus b squared minus 2a times b cosine c. And there you have it.